Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Called a creep because I don't work at the school I work at. So I work as an IT consultant under a long-term contract for a school, thus making me not an employee. I've been working at this school for many months now, so all the staff and a few parents know me. None of the regularly employed staff require uniforms or have any identification except being on the website staff list, which I am not part of. Tuesday of this week, I'm walking back onto school grounds after getting some food a good hour after school got out, when one of the parents I saw earlier beelines towards me from the parking lot. Me is me, RP is parent, B is awesome office person. I've seen you around here creeping on the kids. You need to go away before I report you to the staff and the police. I'm caught really off guard because I almost never interact with parents, except through email or the occasional one chatting with other staff. Sorry, I actually work here. I've looked at the website list and you aren't anywhere on there. I've even spoken to the other parents and they're concerned for their kids' safety. You need to leave right now before I call the police. Look, we can go into the office and talk to A, B, or possibly C if she's still in. Yeah, then they can call the police themselves and you won't be able to run. Okay, don't follow the logic train with that one. Regardless, we walk over and into the office. Luckily, someone is still working the front office. The lady is about to speak, but I immediately chime in and say, "Hey B, can you please verify that I work here as IT support?" B, really confused, says, "Yes, he works here. He's been here for a couple of months now." "Then why isn't he on the website? And why doesn't he have a badge?" "Well, we didn't feel like a badge was necessary as everyone here knows him, and he was introduced at the school assembly." "Then send an email to all the parents because many of us have been concerned." "Do you actually think we would just let some random guy walk onto our campus like that?" "You're fine, you can go." I left while they were still talking because I had a lot of work to do. I can see where much of the confusion was and I'm not offended, but considering there are dozens of parents and staff unmarked on campus a day. Also, the fact that no person is initially allowed on campus without first verifying their identity at least once. Me showing up many times should have been a hint. They should have flipped it on her and said, well, I've checked the website list and I haven't seen you anywhere, and also I've seen you taking kids off the campus. I think we need to call the police." Annoying Karen shouts at my older sister thinking she's her daughter's paraeducator, aka me. So I work for my school's district as a paraeducator, and I work with kids one-to-one most of the time. Well, last month, I had to write up one of the first graders I work with for pulling the fire alarm for no reason. It led to the entire school having to stand outside for 2 hours during lunch, while the fire department came and tried to figure out what happened. So the kid got suspended and she just came back to school last week. Well, apparently her mum was not at all happy with the fact her kid got suspended. So she wanted to shout at the para who wrote her up. The kid apparently tried to point me out to her mum while she was getting picked up. Well, my older sister that lives across the country was in town for a wedding, and had been with me at the time, since we were going to an early dinner together before she had to leave for the rehearsal dinner. I ended up walking away, telling my big sis to stay put since I just needed to go get my bag from my locker before we could leave. And the Karen had appeared almost as soon as I was gone, thinking my sister was her kid's para. She started screaming at my sister, saying how her daughter would never do such a thing, and how I was a liar who was somehow able to hate an angel like her daughter. Well, my sister doesn't know what to do, she doesn't have a clue what's going on, and they're starting to draw attention. Karen is still shouting, my sister can't get a word in, and other paras who are leaving are coming out and take notice. Thankfully, they're good people and they jumped in to stop the Karen. Apparently being faced with more than one person was not what Karen was planning, because she backed up and was given a verbal takedown by 3 40-something ladies that don't take crap from kids, much less entitled Karens. That Karen ran with her tail between her legs, and was gone before I got back. My sister was super cool about it. It freaked her out at first, but she just brushed it off and let it go. She didn't even tell me until this morning when we went to breakfast before she left the airport, which is why I'm posting this now, with her permission of course. Thankfully, I haven't seen the Karen yet, and I will update if she comes after me though. I'm surprised the Karen complained after the suspension was up. If you were that confident that your daughter didn't do it, surely you'd go straight away and say, okay, I want proof that she did it. Still not a nurse. Okay, so this was about 7 or 8 years ago, but I was only reminded of it recently by my mum. For context, I used to work for a well-known bed shop as a sales assistant. At the time, the uniform was a hideously unfitting pale blue cotton shirt, exact same colour as the nurses' scrubs at the hospital, with the company logo embroidered on it very largely on one side. My grandpa had been rushed into hospital and was being kept in for a little while, and I was going straight from work to visit him. So while visiting my grandpa, I needed the loo. I left his ward and started heading to the visitors' toilets at the end of the corridor. In the next room along, loads of alarms were going off, and everyone had rushed into it. A good few rooms further down, a guy poked his head out and asked me to come look at his dad's open sores. I just said, "Oh, really sorry, I don't work here, I'm just heading to the loo," while both pointing at my giant logo on the shirt, and carried on. All well and good, go to the loo and return to my grandpa's room. 20 minutes later and visiting hours ended, so I started to leave with my mum and gran. I go on ahead because I'm the driver and my gran walks with a stick, so I was going to get the car and bring it round to the pickup point. As I'm scuttling down the corridor, a hand reaches out from the room, grabs me by the shirt and pulls me in. I am a bit bewildered and caught off guard now, and I was also awful with confrontation then, was only about 20 and I'm 5'2". The guy is shouting at me because I didn't come back after I had been to the toilet, and holding me by the shirt, putting me towards his dad's open bed sores, asking what I'm going to do to help him. Before I could answer, my mum bursts in. Having seen me get grabbed, she runs down, wondering what was happening. I had told them of the mix-up, laughing it off after the loo, so she had a rough idea already. She shouts at him to get his hands off her daughter, and that unless you want her to sell you a bed for when he gets out of here, she is not the person you need. The guy sees my shirt again with the name embroidered across half of it, and he finally clocks what's happening. Does he apologize? Does he freak? Instead, he shouts at us for invading his dad's privacy whilst his sores were out, and saying he was going to buzz for security. In the end, I basically had to drag my mum and gran out of the hospital before they went full mama bear on him. I think they probably should have called security, but if they just wanted to get out of there, I can see why they didn't. I don't work in this pet department or this store. After work one day, I walked into Whalefart to get a few things. I happened to work for PetSmart, and at the time, we had red shirts that had PetSmart in big letters on the back. I'm in the pet aisle getting some stuff for my cats. My store was too expensive, when this guy tapped me on the shoulder. "Hey, can you get some fish for me?" From the tanks? I don't work here, man. If you want fish from me, you'll have to go down the street where I work. I point at my shirt. Oh, what the heck? Can't find anyone here. Fish are fish, like you don't know how to bag them. I don't work here, man. I'm a cashier at PetSmart, and I have no idea how to handle fish. He says nothing, just stands there staring at the fish. I just shake my head and walk away. He didn't run after me or anything, but I never went into another store with my uniform on again, just in case. I'm pretty sure the police would be called if some random person was trying to take some fish out of an aquarium. Wholesome, I don't work here lady. It literally just happened a few minutes ago, the first time someone mistook me for an employee. Not quite sure if it fits here since it's been kind of a cute experience. I just came from a pretty long run, still in my sportswear, and decided to quickly hop into the store to get some stuff for later, before going home. On the way to the counter, an older woman grabs my arm. Still sweaty, I tried to pull it away, saying I just came from a run, and asked me why the nail polish was so expensive. I was kind of dumbfounded and said that I didn't know what she was talking about. She tried to explain that she wanted to buy some nail polish but wasn't willing to pay so much money for it. Still confused, I told her that there were cheaper nail polish in a different shelf. She probably looked at me for a second and started laughing after she realized that a sweaty person in running clothes was probably not an employee. I showed her the nail polish that I usually use, told her about the difference between the top and base coats, and we went to the counter together, where she told the actual employee that they should hire me, since my consultation helped her so much. Everyone had a little giggle and I'm in a good mood now. The end. No, I'm not lying, I really don't work here. My first job was working at the front desk of a gym/pool facility, and our uniforms were bright blue, like bright blind yourself blue, very noticeable. I usually wore the same shirt, a long sleeve with the logo of my workplace on the front and a large staff on the back. Understandably, this caused a few problems. I often stopped at Target before or after work to grab something to eat. Usually just a frozen meal or something. I had a couple cute interactions, like an older man asking me something before realizing the awkward teenager in blue holding a 99-cent chicken pot pie was not the right person to ask. He was super kind and joked that I should be getting paid by them anyway. Then there was this one lady. I usually wear earbuds when wandering around in public, exclusively so people don't talk to me. I was staring at the freezer section jamming out when someone pulled one of the earbuds out of my ear. What the heck? This old lady, holding my earbud in her grubby little palm, says, "Excuse me?" I was still in customer service mode from my job, so I just smile at her and say, "Yes? Where are the things?" Sorry, I don't work here." "Yes you do, your shirt says staff." "Yeah, but I don't work here. I work at this place." I point to the logo on my front of shirt and say the name of the workplace. "Sorry. Someone with a red shirt should be able to help you." At this, she released my earbud and made a very interesting, dismissive noise. No apology, just walked away, presumably to harass an actual worker. I get mistaking me for a staff when I'm wearing a staff shirt, but blue and red are very different colors, and lying about not working somewhere would be really, really strange. I seriously don't work here, lady. No, if you wear a staff shirt, anywhere you work for them automatically. That's just the golden rule. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.